really needs an SAT tutoring center? Why so many students finish summer SAT programs without improving their scores? As standardized testing regains importance in college admissions, more families are once again turning their attention to the SAT. With many colleges placing greater emphasis on SAT and ACT scores, summer has become the busiest season for SAT tutoring centers across the country. Every year, thousands of students spend weeks, sometimes months, attending SAT classes with the expectation that their scores will improve dramatically by the August or fall exams. Yet, after more than 20 years of teaching SAT math and working with students through the college admissions process, I continue to see the same disappointing result. Many students complete an entire summer at an SAT tutoring center, but show little or no improvement in their scores. Why does this happen? The answer may surprise many parents. An SAT tutoring center is not the right solution for every student. Some students thrive in a structured classroom environment. Others would make faster progress through individualized instruction or independent study. The real question is not which SAT tutoring center is the best. The better question is an SAT tutoring center actually the right fit for my child?
Students who benefit most from an SAT tutoring center. 1. 9th and 10th grade. Building the foundation. Students in 9th and 10th grade should not focus primarily on raising SAT scores. Instead, they should focus on building the skills that eventually lead to high scores. Students who often benefit from structured instruction include students who rarely read English books, students with limited vocabulary, students who struggle with sentence analysis, students who have not yet mastered Algebra 2 concepts. For these students, an SAT tutoring center can provide the structure and consistency needed to develop strong academic foundations.
11th grade is the most important time for SAT preparation. For most students, 11th grade is the ideal time to prepare seriously for the SAT. However, they are also balancing GPA, AP classes, extracurricular activities, leadership positions, volunteer work, and college planning. Many students simply struggle to stay disciplined on their own. These students often benefit from an SAT tutoring center because it provides a structured study schedule, regular practice tests, accountability, consistent motivation. For students who need external structure, a tutoring center can make a tremendous difference. Third, 12th grade, fine-tuning instead of starting over. By the time students reach 12th grade, most already have solid academic skills. At this point, they don't need to take another complete SAT course. What they really need is targeted instruction. Instead of reviewing everything again, they should focus on the specific weaknesses that are keeping them from reaching their target score. For many seniors, improving just one section by 30 to 50 points can make a meaningful difference in college admissions. First, I thought the private lessons were simply for extra practice, but I soon discovered the real reason. The student told me that asking questions during class felt embarrassing. Since students from many different schools attended the tutoring center, the student worried that asking a basic question would make others think they weren't smart enough. So instead of asking questions during class, the student quietly wrote down every confusing problem. Later, during our private lessons, those questions finally got answered. That's when I realized something important. For this student, the tutoring center had become a place where unanswered questions accumulated. The real learning happened during one-on-one instruction. Some students simply don't learn well in a large classroom. They learn much better when they feel comfortable asking questions without worrying about what others might think. Remember, learning is not measured by how many hours you sit in a classroom. Learning happens when confusion becomes understanding. The goal was simple: increase that score to around 770. In other words, the student only needed about 50 more points. Throughout the summer, the student spent every morning at an SAT tutoring center. A few weeks later, the student told me something that really caught my attention. Most of the math lessons cover material I already know. Since the classes are designed for the average student, we rarely spend time on the difficult problems I actually need. This is something many parents never think about. Most SAT tutoring centers teach to the middle of the class. That works well for students who are still building their foundation. But students already scoring above 700 need something completely different. They don't need another review of medium-level algebra. They need the hardest Module 2 questions. They need advanced functions. They need difficult algebra. They need time management strategies. And most importantly, they need someone to identify the small mistakes that keep costing them points. For this student, spending 3 or 4 hours every morning reviewing familial material simply wasn't the best use of valuable study time. Once we shifted to personalized instruction focused on specific weaknesses, the student's preparation became far more productive. Different students need different types of help. Students scoring below 1100 usually need strong foundational instruction. Vocabulary, reading comprehension, grammar, and math fundamentals should come first. For these students, a structured SAT tutoring center can be an excellent choice. Students scoring between 1100 and 1350 often hit a plateau. They understand the concepts, but struggle to apply them consistently under time pressure. As a math teacher, I've seen many students in this range improve dramatically simply by learning how to use Desmos effectively and by recognizing common SAT problem patterns. Sometimes the difference between a 650 and a 730 isn't intelligence, it's strategy. Students scoring above 1400 face a completely different challenge. They're no longer learning basic concepts. They're trying to master the hardest Module 2 questions while eliminating careless mistakes. For these students, personalized coaching is often much more effective than attending a general SAT tutoring center.
So, who doesn't need an SAT tutoring center? The truth is, not every student needs one. Students who are highly self-disciplined, consistently review their mistakes, ask questions confidently, and already have an effective study plan often succeed through independent study or personalized coaching. The goal isn't simply to enroll in an SAT tutoring center. The goal is to choose the learning environment that fits the student best. One of the questions parents ask me most often is which SAT tutoring center is the best? My answer is usually another question. Is an SAT tutoring center actually the best choice for your child? The students who make the biggest score improvements are rarely the ones who attend the most famous tutoring centers. They're the students who understand their weaknesses and choose the learning environment that fits them best. An SAT tutoring center can be an excellent resource, but it isn't a magic solution. Before enrolling your child this summer, don't simply ask, which tutoring center should we choose? Instead, ask, what type of learning environment will help my child improve the most? That one question may be the most important decision you make during your child's SAT journey.
Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, I invite you to visit my blog, where I regularly share practical advice on SAT preparation, college admissions, and studying in the United States. Unlike short videos, my blog allows me to explain important topics in much greater depth, with real student case studies, step-by-step strategies, and the latest college admissions updates. Whether you're preparing for the SAT, building your college application, or simply trying to understand the rapidly changing admissions landscape, I hope you'll find valuable information there. Visit my blog at satcollegeguide.blogspot.com. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you won't miss future videos on SAT strategies, college admissions, scholarships, and studying in the US. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.